Hello and welcome to Let's Talk TriDelta. I'm your host, Mindy Tucker, TriDelta's CEO, and today I'm really excited to be joined by a sister whose story is as inspiring as it is delicious. That's a hint as to where we're going.
Delicious, yeah.
Our guest today is Kathryn Sabo Bricken from our Delta Sigma chapter at the University of Tennessee. She is the founder and CEO of Doughlicious, the company behind irresistible cookie dough creations. From gelato bites wrapped in cookie dough to ready-bake, gooey, yummy skillets. I can't. I'm going to be so hungry when we finish this. It's going to be amazing. What started as a baking thing for friends has now grown into this international brand. It's sold across the UK, Europe, and now in the US. And I'm really excited to share her story of creativity, resilience, and heart. As a baker myself, I can't wait to dig in here with you. So Kathryn, welcome to the podcast. It's really great to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited because I felt like being a TriDelt was like part of my existence, like why I did some things, my path in life. And so now it's kind of full circle that I'm doing this and sharing my story.
I love that. And that's where I want to dig in first is what do you remember about your time at Tennessee and being a TriDelta, and how might that have shaped who you are today?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was just an awesome experience. I think going to a big school, not knowing people, not knowing a lot of people. So it was a way for me to immediately have these sisters, this family that I felt connected with, like-minded, somebody I could always talk to, be with. So it made what could have been a scary experience really comfortable. And then on top of that, we had a great time. Tons of socials. It was a great way to meet new people. And I'm still really good friends with a lot of my TriDelt sisters and then all the girls I lived with. Because at UT, we didn't have houses at the time. So I lived with a KD and a Kaio and a FIMU. And we were all really good friends. And till this day, we're friends.
Good. Yeah, I think I remember from my experience, we had spring recruitment, and knowing people in other houses it's just so rewarding as well. Just you make friends that are outside, and your TriDelta friends are special, but I think it's always great to have that sort of larger Panhellenic friendship on campus.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that we didn't have houses though, because then I could have started like really baking then and just made cookies all the time, right? Maybe I wouldn't have had that lapse in life. I would have just started right after school. But yeah, I think there's a reason why things happen the way they do in life.
Always. And you did have a career outside of the kitchen first. So do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, well, so I graduated from UT, and one of my friends, she was not a TriDelt, but her dad worked on Capitol Hill. He was a chief of staff, and he's like, "Oh, you girls need to come work on Capitol Hill, and I can help you find jobs." And at this point, like I had done a semester abroad, and I always thought I wanted to go abroad again. And I was a French minor, so I was like, I am moving to Paris. Like that is my plan. Not thinking like, how am I going to get this visa and move abroad? And so I took him up on his offer, and I started as an intern in a senator from Florida's office, and then got a full-time position with a congressman. And then before I knew it, I had been on Capitol Hill for a couple years, and just moving from one different position up to another level, and ended being a legislative correspondent for a senator from Minnesota, like so randomly. But then met my husband, and he said, I'm going to take a job in Canada with Bain and Company. So we're moving a little abroad across the border, and we moved to Toronto. And that's when I got to reinvent myself, right? Like I could take a look at what do I love about what I'm doing and what do I not? Well, I knew I did not want to be lobbying healthcare or focusing on healthcare, because that was what I was doing in my last phase on Capitol Hill. But I loved people. I loved food. I was one of these types of girls growing up that I was obsessed with going to the supermarket with my mom. grew up in Florida, and I would go work at Publix as a cashier in the summer, not so I could like sit there and earn the money, but so I could like see all the products that would go by on the scanner. And that was like super exciting for me. Like, how many people do that? So I looked into like hospitality, like, okay, that would be with food, but was that for me? No. And then I found a position that was with Borden Foods, which is a large pasta and sauce food manufacturing company in Canada, and their plant, the production facility was in Montreal. So I was like, okay, I could choose my French in Montreal, and I'm going to work with food. So I started as a brand manager and then worked closely to develop a line of flavored pastas. So worked closely with product development and just fell in love with the whole product development side. So then I started to focus on loving sweets and being like one of these dessert girls. I started to focus on my own in taking courses and developing like really bespoke cookies and cakes and decorating them in beautiful ways, like simple but elegant. And then got pregnant with twins. So that kind of put a halt on things. And when the twins were 4 months, we thought we got to get back to the US, just closer to family, because it was a lot of work. And so once I was back to the US with twins and we moved to North Carolina, I started doing these cakes and cookies with caterers, which is something that I could do while they were sleeping. So I was a mom during the day and baker by night.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be up till 4:30 in the morning doing 300 Christmas trees or bells or like these really decorative cookies. But that was the only time I would have. And but just loved it. Like, it was something that pleased me, and seeing people's reaction and their excitement about these, and then be like, oh my God, they don't only look good, they taste good, was super fulfilling to me. So fast forward, 2008, I had another child on the way in that process. And so 3 under the age of 3, but I kept on going, like working through the nights with the cookies and the cakes, and moved to London in 2008, and started bringing my creations to my friends, and they were like, oh my gosh, these are so good. And then one day a friend said to me, oh my gosh, you make these beautiful things, but could you just make me a really good American style chocolate chip cookie? Because nobody does it here. So that was like the first light bulb inspiration to make something that was so simple, but unique and different from anything that had been created in the UK or even in the US.
Okay, there are like 100 things I want to unpack.
That was a lot.
First is, I have to know what years you were on Capitol Hill.
So I was there when I graduated in 1990. So I was there 90 to 93 and a half, 94.
Okay. So we overlapped. I was on the Hill
Oh.
from 92 to 96, 98.
Okay.
So such a we're gonna have to have a whole nother episode where we
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, I need to hear that.
be on the Hill, and such a great sort of first job, I think, for people in terms of stepping out into the world.
Yeah. The salary wasn't very good, but
Terrible. $17,000 front desk.
My first one was 16,000, and nobody believes me. So I'm so glad you got a better job than I did.
Crazy to think about.
Wait, you were 2 years later. That's why there must have been a cost of living
Inflation. Just crazy to think about that we took those, like, that's where it all started. So
right. So when I hire people now and they think the salary is low, I'm like, just look at me. I survived on 16,000.
I have no idea. And okay, so much in there. What prompted the international move?
So Dan, who I married, and this is kind of a crazy story, and this is like, being like, I guess, being a sorority girl, you're just you have fun. You go I'd like to say you go anywhere, you do anything, you just kind of seize the moment, right? That's the way I think tri-delts are, like always looking for these great, what's the word? Experiences.
Yeah, seeing it all as an opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, we're not wallflowers, but we're outgoing, smart, fun. And so I met Dan in May of 1994, and we got married in 1995. So like met, engaged within 3 months and married a year later. And he had gone to Georgetown Law School and then was practicing law, and he wanted to do something different. So he met somebody that was with Bain and Company, and they said, you really should come to Bain and Company and apply, and we're looking for people in the Toronto office. So it was kind of his segue away from law. So I guess, we both had made these career changes, and his was from law to going into consulting with Bain and Company. So that's what took us. Oh, that's the one to Canada.
Right.
Is that the one or the other one? So
Well,
the
and
other
then how you end up in the UK.
So then in 2008, we moved to the UK, and that was he was then, okay, gosh, this gets complicated.
But it's his job that's been sort of.
It's his job, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was there a moment you sort of had this spark and you said, like, I can do this as a business? Like, this could be bigger?
Yeah, well, so in 2014, I made it more like a hobby. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make all these different flavored dough balls. I'm going to freeze them, and then I'm going to put it out there to all my friends, and people can come to a good friend of mine. She had a photography studio in central London. So she was like, just put it out there. You can come set up in my kitchen at the studio and just sell your dough balls. So I was selling them, and it started to grow and grow, and more people wanted the dough balls. And then I decided to put them in a little kitchen where they could make them for kind of like you have DoorDash. It was kind of like a DoorDash, a Deliveroo. So people could place an order online and get them. And because the cost of delivery was so expensive, people were buying 10 dough balls for 10 pounds, which was crazy, especially at the time with the pound to the dollar. That was probably like $15 for 10 dough balls. So I was like, okay, if people are paying this much, which is crazy, obviously I have something here. So in 2016, I decided if I'm going to do this, I either go big or I go home. So I put it in a food show with my husband. He helped me, and put Doughlicious t-shirts on, didn't even have barcodes, set up, and Whole Foods came to us right away, and they're like, we love it. Like, how do we get it? I was like, well, first I need a barcode. And then Planet Organic and a couple other stores in the UK were super interested. And I think Whole Foods was interested because they knew American goods, and they knew like there was this difference between American style cookies to the British biscuit.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was like the first light bulb, like, okay, this is what's gonna, I can scale it.
Competitive advantage coming from where you came from and having that.
Right. And my whole ethos was moderation. So make these balls that were all separated. Somebody could have dinner style perfect cookies, but that tasted amazing. And we happened to become like, at first I trialed just wheat flour, and then I started making everything with oats, because I'm the type of person that I think if I'm eating oats, I can eat 10 times more, and it's going to be better for my body, the fiber, and it's going to taste just as good. So I would do taste tests side by side, and everybody loved the oat ones. So I found a gluten-free farm that did all gluten-free oats. And I said, okay, I'm just going to make it all gluten-free, because people aren't going to know it. So I'm going to be super sneaky about this.
No flour in your.
No, we don't use any white flour.
You might be my new hero.
I just got to get you some now.
Now I'm on my way to Whole Foods after this.
Yeah. So we only use raw cane or coconut sugar, depending on the product.
Yeah.
And then, oat flour with a little bit of like rice and tapioca, depending on the product.
Yeah.
And we even have some vegan flavors that we think are amazing, and you would not know they're even vegan, and then some that are mainstream. So always trying to cater to different communities and cultures.
I love that. So this is a lot that you have going. So you have 3 kids, this business, you're
Two dogs.
That alone would put me over. Yeah. I've done the 2-dog thing before. What are your tips and tricks to balance all of this?
Yeah, I think like when you just love something, then it comes easy, or it seems to be easy because you want to do it. And I think I just loved baking so much, and I loved making people happy. Like I like to say that if I can bring joy to a couple people a day, then it's all worth it. Like just
I can hear
it right to us.
When you were talking about being awake till 4:30 in the morning with twins.
Yeah.
And you still had joy in your voice. I was like, she really loves what she does. She really
Yeah.
loves it. So I could
No, it is. It was definitely a lot of work. And, but yeah, I think every day that I get closer to like growing more and more and obtaining like where I see this business can be, it gets me excited. And a lot of people, it's really hard. Like it's super hard. People would be like, oh my gosh, it's so hard. I'm like, yes, it's hard, but think of what we're doing. Like if it was easy, everybody would do it.
That's true. That's true. And it wouldn't be as rewarding. So
Right. Yeah.
tell me, I want to dig into another part of your story that's pretty powerful. You're also a breast cancer survivor. And
Yeah.
I'd love to hear a little bit about that and how, like, how we already talked about you had a lot on your plate, and then you add that
Yeah.
on top of it. How did
Yeah, I
that?
think, well, never thought like nobody ever thinks, oh God, I'm going to get breast cancer, right? That's
Right.
just something that doesn't go through your head. So I was super lucky. I was washing like, under my arms and felt a little lump and was like, oh my gosh, what is this? So I went and they were like, oh, it's just a fibroid. It's nothing. Don't be worried. So I just left. And
Oh
then
no.
they call me the next day and they're like, after they took a biopsy and everything, they're like, oh, sorry, it's cancer. So I think the first thing that went through my head was like, oh my God, I don't have time for this. Like I have no time. Like I'm too busy making the cookie dough.
Nobody's got time for
So
you.
right, like put that on the back burner. But so I had a couple choices, and I don't know if my choices were right at the time. And being a woman, you go through these things of like, okay, so do I do a lumpectomy and hope that it's not in my lymph nodes? Do I do a double mastectomy? Do I do a single like what do I do? I didn't have the BRCA gene. Mine was all estrogen because it was around the time. So I was just after 50 and I was um, started to take hormones. So I like life was good with hormones. Let me tell you, like those, HRT, they're
Yep.
fantastic.
Yep. They
So
were.
now I'm not on HRT and I can't take HRT. So I'm not very fantastic some days, but um, I so I just decided to, at the time, what worked for me was to have a lumpectomy. They found out it wasn't in my lymph nodes. And then I had to go through radiotherapy after that for 3 months. So it was like, again, like it was miserable time. And I think the worst part was, planning it, getting mentally prepared. But thank goodness I had Doughlicious, so I didn't have that time. But I had two awesome girlfriends that went to the hospital with me. My husband said he would go. I was like, nope, I'm going with my girls, and had the surgery. And then with radiotherapy, I think also you just get super depressed. So I think having Doughlicious and having really good friends to go with me, I would make somebody go with me every day.
Yeah.
Because not like, even though it was only 15 minutes that you sit there, it's not fun. So having really good friends, and I think having something else to focus on
Yeah.
than this cancer, which a lot of women go through. Like 1 in 7 women are diagnosed with some form of breast cancer.
Yeah. Um, I love the idea that like you were surrounded by women who were really supportive.
Mhm.
I think like that's what TriDelta is all about,
Yeah.
honestly. Um, and you and your company have sort of mirrored that as well. 90% of your senior roles are held by women, including a
Yeah.
TriDelta, Whitney Spielvogel. I love that.
I know. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, I love it too. And we've done a lot with breast cancer. So there's a charity over here called Coppa Feel. We actually did a strawberry cookie dough and gelato bite that we actually put little boobs on it. And it's called Coppa Feel because, feel yourself
yeah,
and check yourself. I guess that sounds better. Check yourself to, make sure that you don't have, because if you catch it early, it's
yeah,
usually curable. It's
yeah,
when you wait that then you have issues.
yeah.
So we gave 10% of all, I think, net proceeds to Coppa Feel.
I
So it
love
was
that.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just getting the word out there, spreading it any way we can. And we continue to support any breast cancer charities. So if anybody's listening and they have a breast cancer charity, we're happy to do what we can to support you.
That's great. I love that you're giving back
Mm-hmm.
and serving others. So tell me, for someone who's thinking about starting something new, dreaming a little bit, maybe about a business or a new endeavor, or just reinventing themselves, what advice would you give them about taking that first step?
Yeah, I think you need to have passion. So if you're passionate about something, then that will help you persevere and work hard. But I also think like you just need to follow your I don't know what the word is. Like if you think of something, you're passionate about it, then go for it, right? I mean, don't be afraid to fail because I mean, we all will have challenges and every day is there's something, right? Like there's always a day that something goes wrong and if you let it get you down, then you won't want to keep on going. But I think you just have to realize there's always going to be challenges. If you're passionate about it, you feel it, you believe it, then go for it.
I love it. The passion. Your passion is
Yeah.
contagious. I can feel it. Um,
No, I can talk cookie dough all day. People think I'm crazy. And I see it in everywhere. Like if I go eat a croissant, I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be so much better with cookie dough in it. I eat a cinnamon roll. I'm like, oh, that's better with cookie dough.
I mean, what isn't better with cookie dough in it,
Yeah.
right? Sometimes I say that about bacon, but cookie dough is equally as powerful.
I bet you if you wrapped bacon around some blob of cookie dough, it would taste really good, right?
New product line, new product line.
Yeah.
So tell
Well,
us,
somebody should do that. They should stuff a date with cookie dough and wrap bacon around it.
don't
That would
tempt me
be
with a good time. I will.
somebody needs to do that.
That's the kind of thing I will do next week and take to Thanksgiving dinner. So
Yeah.
I'll let you know how it goes.
So fun.
So what's next for Doughlicious and the company?
Yeah, so right now, so we're in the UK. That's where our main manufacturing facility is. We are starting a production facility in Ohio, in the US, in 2026. So that'll make it easier on us. Right now, with tariffs, it's really hard to only produce in the UK. So the factory in the UK will service UK and all others. And I'm super proud of the company from where it is today. So we're not only in the United Kingdom, but we're in Switzerland, Sweden, France, Iceland, Costco, Spain, in Costco, actually all over Europe, not yet in the US, but also we are in Dubai, Saudi, Kuwait, Greece,
Wow.
and just growing. Lebanon, Israel, which is fantastic. So just there's a lot of cookie dough monsters out there and that just love the dough. So I'm really excited. And I love, like I see these other countries and the way what they do with it is different. Like sometimes these parties they have, the content they create, like the way I see our gelato bites and the way I would eat them, they do it totally different. And whether it's like
Cultures. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I've seen like videos where they take the gelato bites, they dip them in meringue, torch them, and they're mini baked Alaskas. Like I'm always like, oh my God, that is so cool. I'm super impressed. And then so right now our plan is to continue to grow the US because we launched in the US in end of 2023-24 with Whole Foods exclusively in 4 regions, and then we went nationwide. And now we are proudly in about over 5,000 doors in the US. So the plan is to continue to grow that. Fix what's wrong because not having to transport it from the UK. And actually also we've just launched the cookie dough skillets, which are really fun. And it's just like my crazy brain going in like cookie dough ways. So the one that's launched in Whole Foods was an inspiration because whenever I would bake at home, my kids loved apple pies or rhubarb pies, but they always wanted a crumble topping. And I would always get mad at them because I'd go into the kitchen after I made it and like half of the pie had the crumble missing because they had gone and eaten the crumble off the
That would
pie.
be me. That would be me.
So a lot of people do cookie dough. They just do like a slab, right? That you bake a skillet. It's just cookie dough and then you can do something with it. But I was like, okay, I love texture and I think experiences are cool. So we've taken our cookie dough and put a crumble topping on it. And then we've par baked it for you. And all you need to do is heat it and eat it. So you can warm it in the microwave, the air fryer, the oven, or just don't even. But so it's a combination, again, like making cookie dough modern, innovative, and better for you at the same time.
I love it.
And then one is a cookies and cream that's launching Whole Foods nationwide in January. And then the third one is super cool because it's a banana chunky oat with chocolate that also has plant-based collagen support.
Oh.
So it's a cookie dough with benefits.
I love it. There's
Yeah.
literally, this
Like
is
who doesn't love collagen, right? We all
right.
love collagen.
We're in the same age group where I need
Yeah.
more collagen. Uh,
Right.
You're reading my mind here. This is so fun. I hope all of our listeners will go out. First of all, you can go to your website and check it out. But you've kind of run through the different products. I assume you guys are on Instagram and
Yep,
Facebook and
Instagram, Doughlicious_dough, and that is a global Instagram. We are starting a US one just because we're realizing as we grow, it makes sense to have two Instagrams. So there's one Doughlicious US and then Doughlicious_dough. But we're on GoPuff, Instacart, so wherever you live, if you can't get to a store, hopefully you can find it elsewhere. Amazon, and yeah, just hope that everybody will try the dough.
yeah, I'm in. I'm going to try a lot of the dough.
Yeah, we'll put the coupon on too, so everybody has a
Yeah.
coupon
So
that they
in the
can.
notes for this episode, if you guys check it out, there's a coupon for all of our listeners that she has provided to us. Kathryn, this is just great. It's been so fun to talk to you. You've built an incredible business, and your passion, like I said, it's contagious. We can all feel just how much you love doing what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm always here. Like if anybody does ever have any questions, they can always try to reach out to me on LinkedIn or Instagram, because I think that, it's, if I can help, I'm happy to, but it's great to support other women in business.
Yeah, well, this has been so fun. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks,
Great
Wendy.
to have you on the podcast to kick off our year. Everyone, please like, subscribe, and rate our podcast. We have 3 stars in our crescent, but we love those 5-star ratings. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Until next time, Delta Love.